Just realized I'm muted, but hello? Yeah, I just realized I was muted, but yeah, today's gonna be a really long stream. I'm gonna be on until like I think 4 or 5 a.m. But I'm locked in, guys, and let's get through this. I'm just gonna quickly do an application for something, and then I'm gonna get to studying, and we should be good. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now.
Looks like we got some people on.
Surprised. Very surprised. 2 people watching. Oh, man, I'm trying to do this Mandate app, bro. I'm doing it despite knowing I'm not going to get this position.
Why? What do you
Bro,
think?
I'm canceled, bro. The position you're interested in.
Is Alessandro joining?
Yeah, later.
Okay, easy. Wait, send me the link for the application.
You just have to answer these questions. It's sending you.
Google form?
Yeah, no, there's no Google form. It's literally just answering these questions.
Oh, okay. You can do sponsorship as well.
Sponsorship. Yeah, it's just that's gonna take a while to do, no? I'm trying to find out like what do social reps do?
I think it's just social media. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
Socials. Yeah, socials is like all the channels,
Oh,
which
easy.
they definitely need. Right. Did you end up doing serotonin syndrome?
Yeah, a while ago.
Are you going to talk about how you do live streams in your
No, I'm not
socials?
bringing that up. I'm putting I'll show you my application.
Easy. Are you making it like a long one? Just.
Uh,
Okay. Easy. Are you making it like a long one? Just.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, pretty long actually, because I have to beat the allegations in this application.
Okay, true. I might go for the sponsorships one then.
Easy.
And they both seem pretty good for networking outside of
Yeah,
uni.
agreed. Mm. Da, da.
Wait, who's the secretary?
Shaswati.
Oh, okay.
Hey, where are my experiences? Chat GPT. I'm already done the app.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you so you can let me know.
Yeah, easy. I'm writing. Um, I'm drafting it on WhatsApp, so it'll end up being a message to you anyway.
I'll send it to you on WhatsApp as well. Resume content. I think it's this. Ally's on as well.
Hi guys.
Yo,
On boss.
big man, the animal himself.
What's going on?
A bit of Mandus politics.
And
And then
I spoke to
yeah.
the VP because I already put in an expression of interest in the past. He
Mhm.
told me that if there was any issues, he would ask me to resubmit.
Okay. What did you submit for?
I went for surgical rep.
Oh yeah, nice.
Apparently, it was like fairly competitive, so hopefully, I pull ahead with the on merit.
On merit.
On merit.
Big boss Harrison. Hop on stream, Harrison.
Come on stream, Harry.
Harry. Why did you say it like that?
Who, myself or Shahab?
You.
Come on stream, Harry. Let's do it.
Send him the link.
It's in the Discord. He's in the Discord.
Yeah. I'm gonna WhatsApp it.
All right, let me share my screen.
My guy says soon.
Harrison, I'm gonna drop out at 6. You gotta replace me. 2 hours. You got 2 hours to sort yourself out.
I was just reading through the learning outcomes. Week 19 is when we had the how do you maintain a good lifestyle as a doctor? So technically, it will be assessed. Absolutely. Let's get some of these cards done. I have. Oh, that's not too bad. I thought it would have been a lot worse. Okay, let me just organize my decks. Start going through it.
I could add like 20 experiences to this, but I'll only put these ones.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do drug interactions finally.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, here. I'm sending you Jareer, my application.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get GPT to refix the wording on this. I'll get Gemini to do it actually. Gemini's better.
What the body does to the drug. What the drug does to the body. Effect changes without necessarily changing what the body does to the drug at PDME. Concentration at the site of action changes to effect. Effects without necessarily changing plasma concentration. Concentration at the site of action. Altering effect. Okay, I'm fine. Triple whammy. Let's get that out of the way. Absolutely, triple whammy will be asked.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah. NSAIDs, ACE inhibitors / angiotensin 2 receptor blockers, and diuretics. NSAIDs vasoconstrict afferent, and ACE inhibitors / ARBs vasodilate efferent. Yeah. Yeah, because they block angiotensin. Easy. And diuretics reduce intravascular volume because, yeah, you got to pee them out. High risk in the elderly, prevention, avoid the triad. Yeah, that's fine. And serotonin syndrome. (5-HT). Shahab, the triad of serotonin syndrome, do you know what that is?
Yeah, I see it on yours. I did it. Man, I
Is that
don't think it's
triple
going to be asked though.
That's
Mental
fine.
status, autonomic instability, and neuromuscular hypertension. Autonomic what? Autonomic instability.
Instability. So, okay, I'm just going to change this card.
Triad.
So SSRIs, tramadol, and St. John's wort and MDMA can lead to serotonin syndrome.
Bro, why does GPT like? All right, Drew, I'm done my app. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, I sent you mine. I'm sending the email. Okay, actually, have a read. Kept it basic because, yeah, direct, concise.
SSRIs, tramadol, St. John's wort, MDMA.
Are you sending it on Discord?
I sent it to you. That's mine.
Okay.
SSRIs and tramadol.
Social.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with SSRIs and tramadol. Because we don't know. Have we ever looked at dextromethorphan?
Yeah, it's the cough suppressant.
Nah, we've never looked at that.
We did.
What week?
I swear. It was this week, and it was week 17-ish that we did opioids because they bring it up because codeine and dextromethorphan are examples of drugs that suppress the cough. Do cough
No,
suppression.
that was not in the lectures. Nope.
Fair enough. Yeah, here, easy. I sent you my app, Drew. What do you think?
I'm
I can see
literally
the
going to
M
read
dashes.
I'm going to read it now.
Sorry?
I'm going to go through it now.
I'm seeing the M dashes.
M dashes where?
Fourth paragraph. The experience.
Alessandro, do you want me to send it to you as well?
But it doesn't matter. It's not a uni submission.
They're not going to look at it, bro.
True.
That's fine. They're just going to see your name and then instantly say no.
Crazy. Are you sending it via your uni email or just Gmail?
One point.
This
is 1 point in one slide. Use of codeine and dextromethorphan as antitussive medications. That's not going to be asked.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, 1 point on one slide is enough for them to say that this is testable. That's the type of stuff med schools would do. Okay, Alessandro, I sent you my app. If you give it a read, I'd appreciate it. Obviously, it won't.
Yeah, I'll read it. I'm just doing these cards.
Easy. I'll probably send it in.
I am sending it off.
Yeah. student number 2208944 D1 D1. Okay, Drew, did you give mine a read? What do you think?
Yep.
You think I'm beating these allegations?
Wait, did you edit it? Okay.
No, I'm going to submit it like that, but I edited out all the M dashes.
You also got like American spelling for some of these
Oh,
words.
that's fine.
Yeah. Social community engagement. Okay, nice. Digital. Oh, that would actually go hard using the drone on campus.
Yeah, but that's their decision. If they take me in the position, then they'll get a drone and they'll get all my camera equipment.
Respect for the image of Mandus.
Yeah, I had to drop in a couple of those respect words in there. Because for me, I want to take more of a behind the scenes role where I'm just editing and doing photos and like behind the camera. And I want to do those like, oh, where do you see what specialty do you see yourself at the end of a thing? And then you get the video of them after graduation saying that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Or like before
Or-
exams, what do you think? How do you think you're gonna do on the exam?
It looks good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Appreciate it.
You could definitely one thing I found funny is when you said that you're like willing to let them use like your stuff.
Yeah,
I'll just change one word.
and that is.
I'll let you use my shit in my tenure.
During.
Oh, for Amanda's projects, I'm more than happy to make my chemical available for management during my tenure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You don't want them thinking that they can like use you if you don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you'd love to help out, but obviously it's a bit different.
Nah, bro. What if I don't get the position? They're not touching my equipment, bro.
Well, then you have to change that.
Yeah, I put during my tenure.
All right, I'm gonna mute and do some work.
Yeah, I'm gonna tone you guys down and lock in. But I'm gonna
Me
keep
as
speaking for our amazing
well.
audiences.
Yes, sir.
How many viewers do we have? Over under on 1,000 viewers?
Yeah, just under.
Damn, just under. That's insane. We have one viewer, and it's me. Anyway, give me 5 minutes, and then I'm going to lock in and do cards.
Yo, Alessandro, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, do we need to know Lesch-Nyhan syndrome? You know, the HGPRT deficiency?
No.
Uh, 6-mercaptopurine also inhibits HGPRT, right?
So you do have to know that it's a purine antagonist.
Yeah, okay. You just need to know that it's a purine antagonist,
Yeah.
6-mercaptopurine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't need to know that it specifically inhibits HGPRT.
No, you do need to know that it inhibits HGPRT to make TAMP.
Okay, perfect. Right, I got that locked in. Uh, Yo, also, just to clarify, for purine and pyrimidine synthesis, do you think they'll be super specific when asking about it, or will it be just compare both, and
I
then you
think
just
it'll
have
be
to highlight?
I think it'll be compare in the sense that like you know that purine gives IMP that goes to like GMP and AMP. So
Mhm.
I think they'll go like what gives what. So like purines like results in double bonds, double ring structures or whatever it is, and that gives adenine and guanine, and then pyrimidine gives everything else.
Yeah, okay, because I'm thinking maybe they'll ask, all right, with the purines, you have a backbone that you start with because it's two-ring
No, but
structure.
they won't ask that because they've already asked about trimethylpaurin in the other
Mhm.
exam.
Yeah, but I'm saying more so like compare the differences between purine and pyrimidine synthesis, where purine,
Yeah, one's
you have a
called de novo.
backbone that you start with.
Yeah, and the other is what do you call it? First as a nitrogenous base.
Yeah, and then one salvage pathway and one's complete de novo synthesis.
Yeah, they won't ask that. There's way more other stuff that they can ask, and that's also from last semester as well.
Mhm. I feel like it's a good question to ask from last semester. Though, was like, okay, highlight the differences between purine and pyrimidine synthesis, and one cancer drug that impacts pyrimidine synthesis, and one cancer drug that impacts purine synthesis.
But they've already done that though. They've already asked that.
Fair, fair. You're right. Maybe. Yo, another question. Do we need to know leflunomide?
In what context?
Pyrimidine synthesis and that it inhibits
No,
dihydroorotate dehydrogenase?
no, it's too much.
Damn. Okay, easy. Yeah, I think it might be.
Don't do what you did last time with the carotene shuffle. Don't do that. It's just too much.
Bro, the keratin shuffle was high yield though, bro.
It's really not. For a pre-med, yeah, probably, because pre-med they can ask everything and anything. For med, there's only really one exam. They can only really ask the things that are important.
Oh, easy. Oh, hey Arma. How's it going? Hope everything's well with you too. Thank you for tuning into the stream. Oh, Drew, I'm accidentally calling you, by the way. My phone, I don't know why I'm calling you.
It's not ringing, so actually, yeah, it did.
I accidentally hit it, but
Damn, 6. We're hitting
no,
numbers.
we got to 7. We got a 7 at one point, bro. We're locked in.
We're gonna get speed on here later on.
Yeah, inshallah. Harrison first, though. That's going to be our first special guest.
Yo, Harrison over speed any day.
Yes, sir.
Mental status changes, autonomic instability, neuromuscular hyperactivity. Mental health changes, autonomic instability, neuromuscular hyperactivity. Change by excess H5, 5HT, 5HT, excess central 5HT. Mental status changes, autonomic instability, neurovascular hyperactivity. Caused by excess central 5HT from drug overdoses or combinations. Cool, I'm happy with that. Now this is NSAIDs causing efferent constriction. Afferent. No. Yeah, afferent. Oopsie doopsie. Hang on. These are the opposites. Okay. So your angiotensin 2 constricts afferent. So ACE inhibitors, vasodilate, afferent. Fair enough. Good.
Yo, do we need to know what allopurinol does?
No, we just need to know that allopurinol goes into oxypurinol.
Wait, doesn't allopurinol, it's a xanthine oxidase inhibitor that prevents gout, no? Or using gout treatment?
Yeah, it prevents urate from being developed. Yes, we do actually.
Yeah, perfect.
Actually, let me adjust this card. Yeah, CYP3A4 for clarithromycin that inhibits it. Cool. Fluoxetine. It's like 7 to 10% of the population is poor metabolizer of CYP2D6. Oh, I just did these cards. Why are they repeated? Interesting. All right, well, I'm gonna redo these then.
Bro, what's transcholemic?
I think that's a form of malignancy, form of metastasis, where
Yeah, so the
where it
three.
seeds the body, where it seeds the body cavities, such as like ovarian cancers can go across the peritoneum.
Okay, so the three types are hematogenous, lymphatic, transcholemic. Transcholemic is the one where you're seeding in a body cavity. Lymphatic is lymph,
Yeah,
hematogenous is blood,
such as
right?
ovarian cancer.
And then, okay,
Sorry.
ovarian cancer is a transcholemic example of transcholemic, right?
Yep.
Okay, easy.
Sarcomas is
Thank
hematogenous, and carcinomas are
is lymphatic.
lymphatics, as well as
Oh,
lymphomas.
sarcoma, carcinoma, lymphatic. Sarcoma. Carcinoma is epithelial.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
adenocarcinoma is gland-based. So prostate
yeah,
cancer is an
gland-based.
example of adenocarcinoma.
Easy. Prostate cancer, adeno. Yeah, okay, I got that. And then, okay, sarcoma, connective tissue. So just, or easy, thank you.
Yeah, and just remember with sarcomas, they're most likely to invade veins rather than arteries, and that's due to the thin walls.
Okay, so they invade veins rather than arteries due to the thin walls of
I don't know,
arteries,
like
right?
they can invade arteries, but they're more likely to invade veins. But in reality, they just kind of metastasize to whatever the anatomical pathway of like the circulatory system is essentially.
And then breast, prostate is both Batson's venous flux. Okay, easy. Locked in.
I'm just going to redo these cards quickly because I had to make a small edit. And then we got P glycoprotein, and that's it. All right. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Increased gastric pH decreases absorption of weak bases or acids. GI mobility changes due to opioids. We just kind of redid that. CYP3A inhibitors is clarithromycin. It was an induced like St. John's wort. Smoking induces I actually do not care for that one. Give me a sec. If I see smoking, I know it's CYP1A2, worst case scenario. Grapefruit inhibits CYP3A4. ACE inhibitors reduce lithium clearance and urinary alkalization, results in iron trapping. Older age polypharmacy. Opioids plus benzo is seen as prescription. Non-selective beta blockers can cause bronchodilation, antagonism. Yep, so that's propranolol. But even like what do you call it? Technically, other like cardioselective beta blockers can also cause that as well. Bleeding risk is antiplatelets plus anticoagulants. Potassium is ACE plus angiotensin receptor blockers, and I don't care too much about that one. Cool. Increased pH reduces absorption of weak acids and weak bases in the GIT. There's no issues with rare issues with protein-bound drugs, unless it has a high therapeutic index, narrow therapeutic index. They can be pharmacodynamic or pharmacokinetic. I don't know what this second drug is. I'm gonna look this up. I don't think we've ever done the second one. Yeah, I don't think we've done that. I'm gonna actually check the lecture as well. Nope. Not mentioned in either of the lectures, so it's not going to be asked. I'm alright with that. CYP3A induces is like St. John's wort. What's that? Okay, fair enough. CYP3A inhibitors is like clarithromycin. That results in exposure of drugs. Increased alkali fiber induces iron trapping. Yeah. We have the antagonist and the victim, the perpetrator and the victim. I don't know what's antagonist. Narrow therapeutic index. Older adults, pharmacy, that's fine. Grapefruit is a 3IP3A4 inhibitor. And prostaglandins, okay. Opioids plus benzodiazepines. Competition for kidney triple. That was the other card, damn it. Warfarin plus anticoagulants. Well, warfarin is an anticoagulant. Antiplatelet plus anticoagulants. Bad. ACE inhibitors and angiotensin 2 receptor blockers can decrease lithium, decrease lithium excretion, resulting in greater exposure. Great. Non-cardioselective beta blockers can result in can prevent bronchodilation through beta 2, but that can even extend to even cardioselective like metoprolol. Hence why it's contraindicated in asthma. ACE and ARBs can result in increased potassium. Related to a number of different things such as therapeutic index. We said that one already. Perpetrator and victim. anticoagulants plus antiplatelets. Great. All right, a couple more cards to go for drug interactions, and then we can leave that behind forever. Okay. So P-glycoprotein is a ATP-dependent efflux pump in the gut, kidneys, blood-brain barrier, and placenta. Many drugs are CYP3A substrates and P-glycoprotein other way around. Both CYP3A and P-glycoprotein inhibitors, substrates. Inhibitors include verapamil, fair enough. Digoxin and clarithromycin increase digoxin levels. So induces is St. John's wort, reducing substrate. St. John's wort and reduces digoxin, loss of efficacy. Okay. Why wouldn't it just say that? My goodness, what is wrong with this? Clarithromycin is an inhibitor. Why wouldn't it just say that in the card? Good old ChatGPT. Okay. What happened? There we go. So digoxin plus clarithromycin is going to inhibit CYP3A. No. Going to inhibit P-glycoprotein, yes. Kidney, blood-brain barrier, brain. No, I already said brain. Kidney, blood-brain barrier, placenta, and gut. Clarithromycin is a P-glycoprotein inhibitor. No, clarithromycin. Yeah, it is, as well as verapamil. Yeah. P-glycoprotein and CYP3A are both substrates of P-glycoprotein. Many drugs are both those substrates. Okay. Clarithromycin plus digoxin is going to reduce digoxin concentrations as time goes due to the inhibition of P-glycoprotein. Induction is St. John's wort. That's going to decrease bioavailability. St. John's wort results in less. Cool. Gut, well, it's an ATs. It's a ABC, an ATP binding cassette that is in the gut, kidneys, blood-brain barrier, and the placenta. Many drugs are P-glycoprotein and CYP3A substrates, so they have overlapping profiles. And is that it for drug interactions? That's it for drug interactions. I'm very happy with that. All right, let's keep going. Next up, we have ethical issues. You know what? I'm going to do labor. Shahab. You there? Okay, let's start with steroids. They're lipophilic, mostly protein-bound, and diffuse across cell membranes. They're lipophilic, mostly protein-bound, and diffuse across cell membranes. They bind nuclear receptors, causing HSP dissociation and receptor dimerization. What's an example of a steroid hormone? I know that they're derived from cholesterol, but I just want an example. Really? All right, let's skip these cards for now. Let's do pregnancy, labor. Okay. Functional progesterone withdrawal and rising estrogen activity, because that results in positive feedback loops. Increases myometrial excitability. So we have the uterine activation proteins, oxytocin receptors, and COX-2. And then fetal placental. I'm just going to say we have a feedback. I'm just going to say we have a feedback loop. Feedback loop readies uterine readiness. Okay. So we have functional. We have a progesterone withdrawal with rising estrogen activity that increases myometrial excitability. So we have more. No, my bad. Oxytocin is the feedback loop. Oopsie doopsie. I think. Increased uterine activation proteins such as oxytocin and COX-2. The feedback loop readies uterine readiness, amplifies uterine readiness. We have a functional progesterone withdrawal. We have an increase in estrogen and myometrial excitability. We increase uterine proteins such as oxytocin and COX-2. Then we have a positive feedback loop that amplifies uterine readiness. Functional progesterone withdrawal, increasing estrogen and myometrial excitability. Feedback ensures a positive feedback. Positive feedback loop readies the uterine. Oxytocin and COX-2. Functional progesterone withdrawal, increasing estrogen with myometrial excitedness. We have a positive feedback loop that amplifies uterine readiness. Okay. So now we're going to do the cervical ripening. Cervical ripening. The cervix softens and shortens via collagen remodeling and increased hydration via hyaluronic acid. Prostaglandins and glycosaminoglycosides result in dilatation, And the Bishop score estimates inducibility. So dilatation. Okay, so the Bishop score. Okay. Prostaglandins and the glycosaminoglycosides, and the Bishop score estimates inducibility. So you have prostaglandins and glycosaminoglycosides leading to dilatation. The Bishop score underlies inducibility, estimates inducibility. I don't know why I said it underlies. The cervix ripens and softens due to granulation and hydration via hyaluronic acid. Not granulation, collagen remodeling. Prostaglandins and glycosaminoglycosides increase dilatation. Cervix softens and shortens with collagen remodeling and increased hydration from hyaluronic acid. The Bishop score estimates its inducibility. Prostaglandins and glycosaminoglycosides, what do you call it? Increased dilatation. Why am I blanking? I'm going to be kicking myself. No, that's the other one. Oh my gosh, really? Cervix softens and shortens with collagen remodeling and hydration via hyaluronic acid. The Bishop score estimates inducibility. 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 Okay, let me just fix up this card. That's way better. That other card that was garbage. I don't think chat knew what I was talking about. Okay. Cool. Okay. Induction. We have a mechanical stretch, promotes endogenous prostaglandins and dilatation. Prostaglandins ripen the cervix and initiate contractions. AR arm plus oxytocin infusion enhances uterine contractions. I do not know what this is. That is a actual thing that is in trial, hence I do not need to know about it. I was wondering why I'd never heard of it. Oh, what? No, these are induction. What's the card? Mechanical and anatomical changes in the induction and process of labor. No, I do not need this. Yes. Okay, that's better. Shahab, are you there? Jareer,
Yo.
have you ever heard of the Ferguson reflex?
Ferguson? No.
Okay.
What is it related to?
It's very high yield.
Okay. And it's related to?
It's essentially just it's just a positive feedback loop in pregnancy, in labor, pardon me.
At what point? Like at the end? Like, oh, in labor, yeah, okay.
For the myometrial contractions.
Yeah, I think I have heard of it then.
Okay, cool. Because I've just found it now.
Yeah, I think Harrison was talking about it in PBL when we had I can't remember what week it was.
Week 19. Okay, I've got to get these cards done. That cleans up my pregnancy card. Not my pregnancy card, my labor card significantly. So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, your cards are set up pretty well.
They're all right. A lot of information. Fundal dominance, synchronous contractions propagate via gap junctions. The upper uterine segments contract and stretch. The lower segments, no, other way around. The upper contracts and retracts. The lower thins and stretches. And the Ferguson reflex is the cervical stretch results in oxytocin release, which results in stronger contractions. Okay. Upper segments contract and retract. Lower segments thin and stretch. Fundal contractions are propagated primarily through gap junctions. Great. Ferguson reflex, cervical stretch results in oxytocin release, which results in stronger contractions. Upper segments contract and retract, lower segments thin and stretch. Ferguson reflex, cervical stretching results in a greater release in oxytocin, resulting in stronger contractions. And then fundal dominant synchronous contractions are primarily propagated by gap junctions. Nice. I am happy. Everyone was saying that week 19 was like a crazy long week. It's actually like 200 cards. It's not too bad. Okay. So the first state, onset to full dilatation, is effacement and dilatation of the cervix to 10 centimeters via contractions and fetal head pressure. So dilatation of cervix to 10 centimeters via contractions and fetal head pressure. We have the mucus plug loss and possible rupture of membranes. Okay. Then the full dilatation to birth. I don't understand what this means. Cardinal movements. Is it? I gotta look this up. Involves 7 cardinal movements. I don't understand what the 7 cardinal movements are. Engagement, descent, flexion, internal rotation, extension, restitution. Oh, these are actual things that I have to know. Hang on. One second. Oh, this is how the head moves. Okay. Right. Cardinal movements of fetal head. Okay, interesting. Fetal head. Engagement, descent, flexion, internal rotation, extension, restitution. No. Pelvic floor and bony muscles guide rotation. Suboccipital pragmatic diameter presents inflection. I'm just going to say the pelvic floor and bony pelvis guide rotation. Fair enough. Then the placental separation, we have the gushing of blood, and then uterine contraction, compression, achieve homeostasis. These are the cardinal movements of the fetal head. Pelvic floor and bony pelvis guide rotation. Cardinal movements of the fetal head. Engagement, descent, flexion, engagement, descent, flexion, external rotation, extension, expulsion, and flexion. I missed one. Internal rotation. No. As if I need to know it in that order. That's annoying. Anyway. The bell, we achieve uterine contractions, achieve hemostasis. Great. Cardinal movements of the fetal head. Engagement. Descent. Flexion. Internal rotation. One, two. Engagement, descent. My goodness. Engagement, descent, flexion, internal rotation, extension, external rotation, expulsion. What's restitution? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everywhere geeky medics say 7. So I'm going to go with geeky medics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They say 9. Oh, never mind. Descent. enlargement, flexion, internal rotation, crowning, extension, external rotation, and rest. Yeah, okay. So external rotation and restitution are lumped, they're grouped together. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of one. All right, let's do this again. With the placental separation, cord lengthening, gush of blood. Okay, cardinal movements of the fetal head. Engagement, descent, flexion, internal rotation, extension, external rotation, and expulsion. I'm happy. We have the placental delivery, and the sign would be as from the duodeca spongiosa, however you meant to pronounce that. Cord lengthening as well as blood gushing. Decidua spongiosa. Okay. Decidua spongiosa, with the shoulder mucus plug and profitable upper membranes. We have the placental delivery, this placental detachment from the duodecia spongiosa, cord lengthening, as well as gush of blood. Decidua spongiosa. My goodness. Dilatation up to about approximately 10 centimeters via contractions as well as pressure of the fetal head. Great. Detachment of placenta from decidua spongiosa. Sign is like a cord lengthening and gush of blood. Uterine contractions achieve hemostasis. Nice. The pelvic floor and bony pelvis guide movement of the fetal head. Guide rotation. Okay. Cardinal directions of the fetal head. Engagement, descent, flexion, internal rotation, extension, external rotation, expulsion. Pelvic floor and bony pelvis guide extension, guide rotation. That's unlucky. Mucus plug shows, as well as potential rupture of membranes. It's rotation, yeah. So, but pelvic floor and bony pelvis guide rotation. Placenta separates from the duodecia. Duodecia is one of them. Decidura spongiosa. Signs are cord lengthening and a rush of blood. Decidura spongiosa. Decidura spongiosa. Placental separation at decidua spongiosa. Placental separation at decidua spongiosa. Placental separation from decidua spongiosa. Signs include cord lengthening and rush of blood. Okay, I'm happy. Relaxin and estrogen increase pelvic ligament laxity. 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 Nice. And then lastly, these fixed up cards, because they were trash earlier. I was like, a steroid hormone is like my sex cells. Why is this card not mentioning that? Cholesterol-derived lipophilic hormones such as cortisol, estradiol, progesterone, testosterone. They are synthesized on demand, not stored in vesicles. They have high lipid solubility and relatively long half-lives, hence why they're able to diffuse into target cells. In blood, they're mainly protein-bound with only a free fraction biologically active. And we kind of already said that one already. They are cholesterol-derived lipophilic hormones. They are highly protein bound, with only the free fraction being active. They are cholesterol-derived lipophilic drugs, such as cortisol, estradiol, testosterone, and progesterone. They have high lipid solubility and relatively long half-lives. They are produced on demand. They are highly lipophilic and diffuse across the cell membrane into plasma cells. They are, yes, it's fine. They are cholesterol-derived lipophilic hormones such as testosterone, progesterone, estradiol, cortisol. They're protein bound with only the free being biologically active, high lipid solubility, and relatively long plasma half-lives. Nice. Finished another lecture. Should I put labor under physiology or pathology? I'm going to put it under physiology. That was a bad joke. Okay. Now let's do nutrition and metabolism in medicine. And then we'll do hormones in, I can't speak, nutrition and metabolism in pregnancy. Then we'll do hormones in pregnancy. And then we'll do the ethical issues in pregnancy, as well as wrap up with physiology of the respiratory system. And then tomorrow we can finish everything once and for all, which I'm very happy with. Yeah, I have 214 cards due tomorrow, so plenty of time. You know what? Actually, let's do the ethical issues. It's under CDT, is it not? Okay. Okay. Ethical issues. Oh, these are our professional obligations. Okay. Provide timely patient-centered care on all lawful options. Clinicians may decline participation but may not impede access. They may promptly inform the patient and arrange timely referrals to another provider. In emergencies, they have to provide indicated care regardless of objection. I think that depends on the state and territory, though. Depending on state and territory. That doesn't make sense otherwise. I got to check the card again, the outcomes. Outline the professional obligations concerning the provision of termination of pregnancy in Australia, identifying any differences between states and territories. Okay, I'm going to ask chat to summarize this significantly. Interesting. So the Northern Territory requests generally to 14 weeks. Okay. Yeah, I think the way that it was grouped was just a bit hard to wrap my head around. Okay, let's do this again. So in the ACT, abortion is free healthcare, and abortion is healthcare free for ACT residents, less than 9 weeks medical, less than 16 weeks surgical, no criminal offense with patients. On request of 22 weeks, more than 22 weeks requires 2 doctors. I don't know what CO means in this context. Conscientious objection. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I didn't even realize. Okay. Conscientious objection duties. What does that mean? Oh, you have a duty to have a conscientious objection? I don't know. I don't understand how that works for Canberra. So I'm just gonna. Okay. 22 weeks. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna mentally group all these together. I think that will go a long way. So 3, 3, 3, 4, 5. No, actually, I can't. That's all right. Requested 24 weeks. More than 24 weeks requires 2 doctors. Mandatory referral. Safe access zones. 22 weeks. Same thing, really. On access to 22 weeks plus 6 days. 2 doctors. Safe access zones. 23 weeks. More than 23 weeks needs a specialist panel. Okay. On request to 16 weeks. More than 16 weeks requires 2 doctors. 14 weeks. 14 weeks. 14 to 23 weeks is additional requirements. Later only for serious grounds. Core duty, yet. Conscious subjugation. Uh, 23 weeks requires a specialist panel beyond that. Same as New South Wales, really. 16 weeks requires 2 doctors. Kind of the same again. So 22 plus 6. Okay. 24. More than 24 requires 2 doctors. Mandatory referral. Yeah, that's fine. SA is 22 plus 6 requires 2 doctors. NT is 14. Then I think it's 14 to 23 requires additional requirements. No, 14 to 23 plus 6 is additional requirements. And then more than 24 is only in serious circumstances. Yeah. New South Wales is the pretty basic one. 22, more than 22 requires 2 doctors. And we have we can give conscientious objections with mandatory referral. Cool. Very happy with that. They're really, it's interesting. There were a lot of outcomes this week, but they're not too crazy. Exclusive breastfeeding is recommended to around 6 months, with complementary foods introduced at 6 months, and breastfeeding continued with solids into the 2nd year and beyond. Really? It reduces obesity? Okay, let's change some things. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Actually, I can move this down. Hang on. Okay. 93% of people had ever been breastfed, and that decreases with age. And then the number of exclusive breastfeeding is always less than that. Hmm. What were the head movements? Engagement, descent, flexion, internal rotation, extension, lateral rotation. No, external rotation, expulsion. Oh, I'm pretty happy with that. Adverse fetal nutrition and growth are linked to adult cardiovascular disease, metabolic disease, and other chronic conditions. Prenatal flavanone exposure results in persistent DNA methylation changes supporting epigenetic programming of disease risk. Reduces obesity, reduces infections and obesity, and benefits maternal not ovarian, breast cancer and type 2 diabetes risk. Oh, well, was ovarian cancer. Is it prenatal or perinatal? It'd be prenatal, because perinatal is you're like nothing. So
Yeah. Were you asking me something there, or
Oh no,
just
I'll ask
general? Okay,
myself.
all good.
Prenatal famine results in increased DNA methylation that can lead to increased adult cardiovascular disease and epigenetic changes for chronic illnesses. Oh, that was this one. Oh, fair enough. Up to 6 months breastfeeding, exclusively breastfeeding. And then at 6 months, you can introduce solid foods as a complementary, and then that continues until 2 years old, in which you give them solid foods. Yeah. Prenatal famine leads to increased DNA methylation later in life, and that can result in epigenetic programming for disease. Adult cardiovascular disease, metabolic and other chronic conditions. Okay. Like 58%, and then it just goes down. 52%. Exclusive breastfeeding falls with infant age. That makes sense, 96, 93. Adult CVS, metabolic diseases, and other chronic conditions. 93% were exclusively breastfed, had ever been breastfed. Okay, I was going to say. We kind on this one. Oh, no, let's do it again. Let's get it right. Prenatal famine results in increased DNA methylation later in life, and that increases epigenetic programming for disease risk. 93% had ever been breastfed, and that decreases as time goes on. I think it's like 40% at 6 months. Yep, great. And then exclusive breastfeeding falls with age, even though the recommendation is 6 months. Was it 52% at 2 months? Yeah. Excellent. I'm pretty happy with that. Nice. Okay, how many cards do we have left to work through? We have about 100 cards, I think. 126. Not bad. You're a lot of image cards, actually. But I might have to tap out soon to finish off these cards here. Purely because I might not have time.
What do you mean?
I got family coming over tonight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, easy.
HCG from Synthetropic Blast rescues and stimulates the corpus luteum in early pregnancy. Easy. Progesterone from Cordus. No, progesterone from what? No, don't be a moron. No. The corpus luteum secretes progesterone in the first trimester too, and then the placenta takes over. Yes. Estrogen from granulosa. What's this? Estrogens from fetal-placental unit. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Estrogens from fetal-placental unit. Cool, I'm happy. Estrogens from fetal-placental unit drive uterine growth and blood flow. HPL from corpus luteum, synthetrophoblasts. So HCG and HPL. Relaxum from the corpus luteum early, as well as the placenta later on, softens the cervix. We had that in the other card actually. And prolactin from what? Maternal anterior anterior pituitary primes lactation. Okay, H something L. Human something lactogen. HPL. HPL from synthetrophoblasts. Prolactin from maternal anterior pituitary gland primes lactation. Estrogen from fetal-placental unit drives uterine growth and blood flow. Progesterone from the corpus luteum in the first trimester before being taken over by the placenta. Maintains uterine quiescence. I don't know what that. Fair enough. Relaxin from call that same thing. Okay. HPL from corpus luteum induces maternal insulin resistance. No, synthetrophoblasts. Prolactin from maternal anterior pituitary, prime lactation. Estrogen from fetal-placental unit drives uterine growth and blood flow. Relaxin from corpus luteum initially, and then the placenta later on, softens the cervix. HPL from synthetrophoblasts induces maternal insulin resistance. Estrogen from fetal-placental unit drives uterine growth and blood flow. Is it lagged? Yeah, it's lagged. Oh, cool. I actually solved that. Nice. What's next card? Bop. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, progesterone in maintaining pregnancy. Okay, so this is obviously not with the what do you call it? Menstrual cycle. Suppresses myometrial excitability. I don't need to know what connexin 3 is. decreases gap junctions and oxytocin receptors, stabilizes spiral arteries. I'm just going to go with supports implantation and that. Insulin resistance in later pregnancy, wow. Due to HPO, yeah. Okay. Okay. Progesterone. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that one. I don't remember nothing about immunomodulation. Suppresses myometrial excitability, reducing gap junctions and oxytocin receptor, supports implantation and placentation, and results in thick, viscid cervical mucus plug. Oops. So estrogen results. Okay, so estrogen increases uterine blood flow and growth. And while progesterone suppresses the myometrial excitability, estrogen is going to do the opposite and result in vasodilation as well. In late pregnancy, we're going to have increased oxytocin receptors and positive feedback and gap junctions. And we also have breast development, ductal proliferation. Okay. Okay. Creates thick, viscid mucus plug. Yep. Increases cervical blood flow, hypertrophies myometrium, and vasodilation of spiral arteries, uterine arteries. Okay. Decreases gap junctions. I gotta really change that first card. Okay. Supports implantation and placentation. Decreases myometrial excitability, reducing gap junctions and oxytocin receptors. This is for the breasts. Ductal proliferation, yeah. Towards pregnancy, we have the increase in estrogen as well as oxytocin. in gap junctions, thick viscous mucus plug, supports implantation and placentation, breasts development with ductal proliferation, cervical blood, increases cervical blood flow. We have myometrial hypertrophy as well as vasodilation of uterine artery. Yeah, I just wanted to get that right. We have an increase of estrogen near delivery, and that's going to increase oxytocin and gap junctions. Decrease myometrial excitability, reduce gap junctions and oxytocin receptors until near term, which is the exact opposite of here. Great. Okay. Increased blood flow and cardiac output from estrogen results in flow murmurs. Decreased systemic vascular resistance due to estrogen results in decreased blood pressure later in pregnancy, early mid-pregnancy. Okay. We have hypercoagulability from estrogen factors, and that results in an increase in VTE. Oh my gosh, that's the question. Okay. Increased progesterone increases tidal volume, resulting in respiratory dyspnea. Physiological dyspnea. No. Wait, hang on. See, I only am able to read the line quickly, and on a good day, I can't read. Increased GFR from vasodilation results in... I can't remember. Increased blood flow, increased blood volume just results in flow murmurs from estrogen. Yeah. Things like HPL can result in increased insulin tolerance towards the end of pregnancy. Higher postprandial insulin resistance. My bad. Oh, yeah. Tolerance doesn't really cut it. Reduced vascular resistance via estrogen results in low blood pressure in early to mid-pregnancy. Increased hypercoagulability from, from estrogen again, I think, leads to increased likelihood of VTE. Prostaglandin-mediated smooth muscle relaxation gives reflux. Increased EGFR can result in, then this is from progesterone, can result in glycosuria. No, it's just RAS. Okay. Relaxin and estrogen I don't think we need to know that one. I've already kind of done that. HPL can increase insulin resistance, and that can lead to higher blood glucose in late pregnancy. I already kind of mentioned this. So we have estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone is ductal proliferation, and estrogen is ductal elongation, I think. Yeah, and prolactin primes milk synthesis. Yeah. Due to RAS, glycuria, progesterone results in cervical mucus plug and maintained tone.
Yeah. I'll be back in an hour or two.
Easy. I'll see you. Well, I'll only be on for like another half hour max because I have to go get ready.
All right. Tell Shahab to get back on.
All right, easy.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Okay. Urinary frequency from expanded plasma volume, because we have more blood volume, so we're going to have more plasma volume. And progesterone may reduce. No, I just like that actually. That can potentially, yep, that's good. Progesterone raises basal temperature, and sleepiness, fatigue reflect progesterone CNS effects. Okay. Due to the increased blood volume, we can also have what do you call it? Polyuria. Yeah, good. Well, not polyuria, but increased urinary frequency. It might not meet the actual definition. Respiratory progesterone can decrease tidal volume, resulting in dyspnea. Progesterone-mediated smooth muscle relaxation can cause reflux/heartburn. Progesterone results in the formation of the thick viscous cervical plug. Increased blood volume can result in flow murmurs from estrogen. Decreased systemic vascular resistance via estrogen can lead to reduced blood pressure in early to mid pregnancy. And what's the last one? Increased hypercoagulability due to estrogen that can result in decreased incidence of VTEs. HPL in late pregnancy can lead to insulin resistance, and that can result in higher postprandial glucose. We already know this. Estrogen results in ductal proliferation. No, progesterone results in ductal proliferation. Estrogen results in ductal elongation and branching. And then prolactin can stimulate milk production. Renal EGFR is going to increase from RAS and vasodilation, and that can result in glycuria. Increased blood volume and hence increased vascular volume can increase urinary frequency, and that comes all the way back from estrogen. Progesterone can decrease tidal volume, resulting in dyspnea. Progesterone can increase basal temperature slightly in elderly pregnancy. Not prostaglandin. Progesterone-mediated smooth muscle relaxation can cause heartburn or reflux. And then insomnia can reflect the CNS effects of progesterone. Sleepiness, fatigue, other way around. Progesterone results in the formation of the thick viscous mucus plug, mucus cervical plug. Sleepiness / fatigues reflect progesterone CNS effects. Nice. It's pretty cool, like when you're like, oh my god, how am I going to get through this card? And then you just get through it. Feels pretty good. Okay. So what do we got left? We have these cards here. This is in later pregnancy. HCG peaks at 9 to 10 weeks, then declines. And that's because the sphincter trophoblasts is secreting HCG to prevent denigration from the corpus luteum into the corpus albicans, as well, and also produces progesterone until the placenta takes over at the end of the first trimester, which is happening around this time. Progesterone transitions to, yes, placental dominance. We kind of already said that. Estrogens rise progressively. I don't know what that part means. I don't know what placental CIH is. Yeah, I think 5 hormones, actually. Let me check. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut this one down significantly as well. Because we never actually had a lesson on this, like a lecture. So it's a bit hard to actually figure out what I need to know, what I don't need to know. But estrogens rise progressively. HPL increases with placental mass, maximal in 3rd trimester. That results in maternal insulin resistance. We already kind of said that. Prolactin increases during estrogen, and lactation is held in check by high placental steroids. And placental CRH increases throughout pregnancy, rises exponentially in late pregnancy, enhancing fetal cortisol and prostaglandins. I'm just going to say enhancing prostaglandins because that links to what I know, because we know that prostaglandins are kind of released in pregnancy. Easy. HCG is released by the sphincter trophoblast until like about 10 weeks and leads to a mid-pregnancy plateau. Progesterone transitions from corpus luteum formation to placental throughout the remainder of the term and continues to rise steadily. Estrogen rises progressively. CRH rises exponentially in later pregnancy, increasing prostaglandins. We have HPL that is proportional to fetal mass. It's maximal in the 3rd trimester, and it can result in maternal insulin resistance. I don't know why I keep saying tolerance. High placental steroids. Peaks and then declines to a mid-pregnancy plateau, 9 to 10 weeks. And then prolactin increases under pregnancy stimulation. Lactation is held in check by the placental steroids. We already kind of said that one as well. Rises steadily. Sorry, I'll redo that actually. Switches over from corpus luteum to placental dominance at about 10 weeks and then rises steadily throughout the pregnancy. Great. It's another one done, guys. That's a whole lecture. Okay, what we have left is nutrition and metabolism in pregnancy. So maternal energy and oxygen needs rise. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, give me a sec to set this one up and we'll continue. If you're curious as to why I do it in the CCS deck, it's just because like I've completely finished all CCS, and so like instead of having to do like 59 cards to open up physiology, I'd rather just kind of do it here. It's a bit odd of me. Okay, let's continue. The fetus and placenta depend entirely on maternal supply of substrates and oxygen via the placenta. That makes sense. Maternal basal metabolic rate increases by about 20% by the third trimester. Okay. Total daily energy needs increase modestly. They're minimal in the first trimester, but obviously increase as time goes on. Maternal oxygen consumption increases by about 25%. Plasma volume expands by about 50%. Insulin sensitivity decreases to prioritize glucose availability for the fetus. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually, because you're trying to divert nutrients towards the fetus. Maternal protein requirement increases to support fetus. Essentially, they need more of everything, right? And micronutrients rise as well. So they need everything, right? Depends entirely on the mother through the placenta. This could be anything. Plasma volume. Insulin sensitivity decreases to provide glucose to the fetus. In the late, yep. Basal metabolic rate increases by about 20% in the third trimester. It's minimal in the first trimester, but increases as the pregnancy continues to go on. Maternal oxygen increases by about 25%, I think it was. Yep. Protein requirements rise to help the fetus grow. Micronutrients also rise due to the need for things like erythropoiesis, hematopoiesis. What's happening here? I got this wrong last time as well. Plasma volume, yeah. Hematopoiesis, because we need micronutrients such as vitamins. Plasma volume increases by about 15%. 50%, my goodness. Plasma volume increases by about 50% to support uteroplacental circulation and nutrient delivery. Great. Okay. Now we have iron. Again, you've probably noticed that I edit my cards significantly when we actually get them out. So we'll see how we go. The total additional cost of pregnancy for iron is about 1 gram. Maternal hepcidin is, I don't think we need to know the spread. Oh, you know what, why not? Maternal hepcidin is physiologically suppressed in pregnancy. Okay, I'm going to break these up so it's easy to read. The placenta actively transports iron to the fetus. Most of it happens in the third trimester. Well, we already kind of know that, so that's fine. Cool. All right, I'm happy with that. Okay. The additional cost of the additional iron cost of pregnancy is about 1 gram, 300 to the fetus and the placenta, 500 to blood and red blood cells, and 200 is lost. Maternal hepcidin is physiologically suppressed, so we can increase iron for the fetus. Yep. So transfer and concentration is going to increase whilst... okay. So transferring goes up, but ferritin is going to decrease. So that means that there's a move from iron in the cells into the blood so it can go to the fetus. That's really interesting. And that also makes sense because like plasma volume increase. Well, plasma volume is not really blood volume, but we know that there's an increase in blood volume anyway. But I wonder how much of that is due to RBCs. But it just said here, expand maternal red cell mass. Okay, so transferrin concentration increases while ferritin typically falls. The placenta actively transport iron to the fetus, prioritizing fetal needs over maternal stores. Damn, that's a bit savage. Most fetal iron accretion occurs in the 3rd trimester, making iron deficiencies extremely dangerous for the fetus around this time. For the mother, it can result in iron deficient anemia, microcytosis. Well, we already know what I don't think we need to know what. Well, sorry, I don't need to say all that because I already know what iron-induced anemia is. Iron deficiency anemia is. And then associated with a preterm birth, a low birth weight, and impaired neonatal iron stores. Okay. Okay, so hepcidin is decreased to promote iron absorption from the GIT and placental transfer. Great. Oh gosh, what was here? Yeah. Okay. Ferritin is reduced while transferrin becomes high as ferritin stores are kind of depleted for the fetus. The placenta actively transfers iron to the fetus, prioritizing the fetus's needs over the maternal stores. Preterm birth, low birth weight, and impaired iron stores. For the mother, it's iron deficiency anemia. About 1 gram, 300 to the fetus and placenta, 200 through basal losses, and 300 by expanding red blood cell mass. The 3rd trimester is incredibly important, so you don't get iron deficient around then. What's here? Decreased hepcidin resulting in increased iron absorption from the GIT, as well as placental transfer of iron. The placenta actively transports iron towards the fetus and prioritizes the fetus's needs over maternal stores. And prioritizes it when intake is inadequate. Okay. Iron deficiency anemia, preterm, low birth weight, impaired neonatal iron stores. High transferrin, low ferritin. The placenta actively transports iron to the fetus and prioritizes fetal needs over maternal stores when intake is insufficient. Great. That's another one done. Good work, everyone. Okay. So as you can see, I haven't done a super amount of cards today. Shahab's probably blown me out of the water, in all honesty. Yeah, 9 seconds per card. But I am learning, so it's a bit different. Okay, let's continue. I got about half an hour left. I would like to hopefully do the cards, the picture cards for physiology of the respiratory system. So let's go through this. And yeah, guys, if anyone's watching, I haven't checked, but if anyone is watching, feel free to leave a comment asking any questions. I am a medical student. So if you have any questions or are interested in medicine or about Anki or studying in general, let me know. Hopefully, I don't know. There's probably no one watching, but anyway, let's do this. Okay, so inspiration, intercostal and diaphragmatic muscles contract. The thoracic cavity volume increases, the lungs are stretched, so we have a negative pressure, then that's going to, yep. Oh, well, that was literally the next point. Air flows in lungs. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of put my computer down. So we have intercostal and diaphragmatic muscles contract. So really the diaphragm extends, and that creates, and the lung, because the lungs are effectively attached to the diaphragm, that's going to increase lung volume, creating negative pressure. And so air is going to come in to fill that space. I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. All right, we can do this again. So the intercostal muscles are going to contract and the diaphragm is going to extend. That is going to increase the size of the lungs. Just increase the thoracic cavity in general, particularly the size of the lungs. And that's going to create a negative pressure gradient from which air is going to enter the lungs to fill up that space. Our intercostal muscles are going to contract and the diaphragm is going to extend. That's going to result in an expansion in the thoracic cavity and the lungs are going to increase in size. This also creates a negative pressure gradient from which air is going to enter our lungs. The intercostal muscles are going to contract and the diaphragm will descend. That's going to increase the size of the thoracic cavity and hence increase the size of the lungs. And it's going to create a negative pressure gradient from which air is going to enter the lungs and then etc. etc. Okay, I think we're all right with that. Okay. I suck at these. All this is brand new content to me. I just want to kind of say. So obstruction is scooping out of flow volume curve. I don't know what this means. I'm just going to skip this for now. Okay, yeah, this is what I need to do. That's tidal volume. Okay, let's zoom out. Tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, inspiratory capacity, vital capacity, total lung capacity, expiratory reserve volume, that's fair, residual volume, and functional residual capacity. All right, let's do this. Functional residual capacity, residual volume, my bad. Inspiratory reserve volume, yeah, because this is expiratory, this is inspiratory. Inspiratory capacity, vital capacity, I know that. That's just full capacity, yeah, total lung capacity. Tidal volume is the normal amount of air inhaled or exhaled. That's tidal volume. Yes, thank you for that. Inspiratory reserve volume is the amount of air that we can inhale beyond our tidal volume. Great. Okay. Same thing, the amount of air that can be exhaled beyond our tidal volume. Residual volume is, that was like the smaller one again. The remaining air after reaching full expiratory reserve volume. Yeah. So this is expiratory reserve capacity, volume. This is residual volume. Total lung is all the way empty to all the way full. Vital capacity is the amount that we can completely breathe in from our normal, so normal expiration to full inhalation. It's the other way around. Tidal volume is just a normal. Okay. Functional residual capacity is the volume of air remaining in the lungs after a normal tidal volume expansion. Functional residual capacity. What's that? Is that, okay, that's bottom of tidal volume to bottom of thing. Okay, yes, that makes sense. So increased alveoli partial pressure is going to increase perfusion, increasing blood flow, yeah. That's going to constrict arterioles, less blood flow, and this is the opposite. So this is going to result in constriction. Oh, really? Dilate. Because it's, my bad, yes, because this is the effect on perfusion. This is the effect on the arterioles. This is the effect on the bronchioles. Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. If you have increased dissolved CO2, you're going to dilate your bronchioles because you want to get it out. Great. Vital capacity is, I got this wrong last time. This is as much air as you can get out to maximum inspiration. Nah, this is wrong. This is the other way around. I'm going to get it up to verify. So this is maximum air that can be exhaled after forceful. I guess I'm guessing getting caught on semantics. The amount of air, because I'm saying the amount of air that can be inhaled after forceful expiration. So it just must be the other way around. The amount of air that can be exhaled after forceful inspiration. Okay. That is going to decrease airflow. Constrict bronchioles. Dilate bronchioles, increasing airflow. That is residual inspiratory volume. Inspiratory reserve volume, okay. This is inspiratory capacity. This is inspiratory reserve volume. Okay. This is expiratory reserve volume. No, that's just no. No, I don't know. That's right. That is total lung volume, total lung capacity. That's fine. That is functional residual, functional residual capacity. Yes. Okay, I think we're all right with these. Inspiratory capacity is regular expiration to maximum inspiration. Other way around. That's fine. How much air can be inspired after a normal inspiration? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Vital capacity. This is the other way around. The air that can be expired after a forceful inhalation, pardon me. Yep. Tidal volume. Constrict bronchioles, reducing airflow. Functional residual volume. Oh, capacity volume. Goodness. Okay, so where does it use? Okay. So everything, so these are capacity, these are volume. Got it. Okay. Functional residual capacity. Vital capacity. Nice. Residual volume is the air that remains in the lung after forcefully exhaling. Great. This is volume. This is inspiratory residual volume. Great. This is inspiratory capacity. Okay, that's fine. This is residual, expiratory residual volume. Reserve volume, okay. That's the air between you inhaling normally and maximum inhalation. Is it? Or did I make a mistake? Hang on. I probably did. Yes, okay. Other way around. Amount of air that can be exhaled after a normal exhalation. Functional residual capacity. Excellent. Arterioles vasodilate, resulting in more blood flow. Residual volume. Other way around. Inspiratory capacity. Functional residual capacity. That is between expiring normally and full air out of your lungs. Volume of air remaining in the lungs after a normal tidal volume expiration. Okay. Normal breathing. Amount of air that can be exhaled after normal exhalation. Dilate bronchioles with more airflow. Total lung capacity. I don't know how I was going to phrase this. I know it's between maximum inspiration and expiration of tidal volume. maximum amount of air that can be inspired after a normal inspiration. That's wrong. Yeah, that's wrong. Okay, that's right. That's function. No, inspiratory reserve volume. Yep. Finally getting these. Vital capacity is volume of air fully inhaling after forcefully exhaling. Other way around. My goodness. Come on. Volume of air exhaled after forceful inhalation. I don't know if these are right though. That is inspiratory residual capacity. Inspiratory capacity, right? That is functional residual capacity. That is inspiratory capacity. That is expiratory reserve volume. That's inspiratory volume. Inspiratory capacity. My goodness. Okay, let's go again. Inspiratory capacity. Okay. I just don't know how it's phrasing these, and it's annoying me very much. Hmm. Okay. Get these 2 cards done, and then I'm going to call it a night. Okay. Functional residual capacity. I just have to see these. Functional residual capacity is the volume of air remaining in the lungs after a normal tidal wave expiration. So if I've got the graph out in a different tab, the air remaining in the lungs after a normal expiration. That's fine. Then vital capacity is the amount of air that can be exhaled after forceful inhalation. Okay, that's fine. Amount of air that can be exhaled after forceful inhalation. Amount of air remaining in lungs out of normal expiration. Volume of air that can be exhaled after forceful inspiration. Volume of air remaining in lungs after normal expiration. Volume of air that can be expelled from lungs after forceful inspiration. Volume of air remaining in lungs after no, my bad. I said forceful inspiration. I don't know why I'm freaking out. Volume of air remaining in lungs after normal expiration. One more time. Volume that can be expired from lungs after forceful inspiration. Amount of air remaining in lungs after normal tidal volume expiration. Thank you. Okay. Ah. Fair enough. Okay. What do I have left to do? I have 46 cards left. And that's something that I'll probably do later. All right. I have family friends coming over. So I'm going to have to call it a night. I might come back later. I'm not too sure. But I'm having dinner. So, bye everyone. Shahab should have come back by now. Is there actually? I don't even know why I'm talking. Is anyone even watching? Yeah, there's 2 people anyway, and that includes me. All right, bye bye.